and welcome to another episode of JIWA MERDEKA on the Nation. I'm PASHA RAHIM. In previous episodes, we've touched on social media and patriotism, strength and unity. We've talked about culture, traditional attire, and more. Today, we want to explore the role of volunteerism in fostering national unity and sustainability. Joining me in the studio is Dr. Wan Ahmad HAZMAN Wan DAUD, Deputy Chairman 2 and the Executive Director of Yayasan Sukarelawan Siswa. If you're not familiar, Yayasan Sukarelawan Siswa, or YSS, is fully owned by the Government of Malaysia through the Ministry of National Unity. And the YSS is dedicated to promoting volunteerism as a means of national integration and unity among Malaysians. Welcome to the show, Dr. HAZMAN. It's very nice to have you here for us to be talking about volunteerism. And, usually when we talk about volunteers, it usually involves the youth. But just to start things off, what are volunteer leaders and why are they important in our society?
Okay, hi, thank you Fasha and Bernama to having us here today. So before I'm answering your question, I think better for me to share about the background of YSS for us to get the better comprehensions and understanding about YSS. Basically, YSS have been launched in 2012 under the purview of Ministry of Higher Educations. And in December 2022, in the first cabinet meeting by our Prime Minister, Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim, we have been shift the functions to the Ministry of National Unity. So basically, Yayasan Sukarelawan Siswa, we are focusing, we already conducted 61 high impact missions in Sabah, Sarawak, and also overseas in Vietnam, Laos, and also Indonesia. So basically, we also do a lot of other activities, conducting a lot of initiative involving the B40 community and also less marginalized community. So basically, until today, YSS have already 1,844 student volunteers leaders that have been through undergo the trainings under YSS. So basically, they eat, live and breathe with the community where they've been deployed. So that is in a nutshell about YSS. So basically, what is volunteer leaders? Volunteer leaders is where we want, because basically there's a lot of volunteer movement outside there. It's very mass. So what YSS want to be different is by having focus on the volunteer leaders. When we give them an opportunity, we train them, we give them a lot of training and opportunity. So we want them to be the catalyst. When they go back to the community, they inspire the community by conducting their own initiative after the missions. So we want to establish more volunteer leaders that can make a difference. And we don't want to have this traditional approach from top to bottom that having currently by government, but we want them to inspire the community by their own initiative and make difference in the community. So that is why YSS always believe in empowering the volunteer leaders.
Okay, so the YSS has a mission to foster national unity through student volunteerism, and also it aims to be a global hub for student volunteer leadership. Why is it that the YSS chose to focus on unity? You know, what's the importance that you see in this, and how do you envision youth leadership playing a role in achieving this goal of unity?
Vasha, I think this is a very common question asked by the people, and I think I want to start the conversations by quoting our father of independence, Tunku Abdul Rahman Putra Al-Haj. In a very quote famous, he always said that we are all Malaysians. This is the bond that unites us. Let us always remember that unity is our fundamental strength, and as a people and as a nation. So basically, we always believe that unity is the trust and the foundations of this country. That is how we get the independence of this country. So in order for us to ensure that the future leader of tomorrow, that is all the young volunteers that we have right now, to understand the basics, fundamental things, and we want for them to understand and before we pass the baton to them. So at the end of the day, we always believe that we are not inherit this country from our future, our past ancestors, but at the end of the day, this is the country that we're going to pass to the next generation. So this is very important for us to train them, to make them understand that what makes Malaysia now, what makes Malaysia foster today, what makes Malaysia being very, very great in the eyes of the world, because the unity that we have. We are multiracial, we are multi-religious, we are very diverse. And in Ministry of National Unity, we always believe in this famous quotes, unity in diversity.
Yes.
So we must enrich that, and we must teach the future generations about the importance of unity in diversity.
Yeah, and really there is strength in our differences. Now, attracting youths to programs such as these, I can imagine that it's not easy, because there are just so many other distractions for the youth these days. What are some of your strategies to attract youths and to also encourage them to participate in volunteerism?
I think you also youth, I'm also youth. So we must understand first the nature of young people. Recently, the new generations that we are dealing with, they have a very limited lifespan on the details. They like to have all this access on the social media, and this is how YSS approach them. We have engaging social media. We're using all this platform that catchy to them, not only Instagram. I think Facebook is no more catchy to these young generations. They are talking about
Facebook
TikTok.
are for the oldies.
Yeah, so they are now talking about TikTok. They are talking about Insta story reels and everything. So I have a wonderful teams that always try to upkeep with the trends by these young generations, and how they upkeeping this by putting the visuals, trendings, musics and everything to at least get the attentions from them. So other than that, we also believe that in the power of brandings. We always believe that peer-to-peer give very good remarks. So when you have a good branding, people are talking about you. So this is the things that we are practicing in YSS. We want all the people that having the opportunity to be with YSS in our missions, undergo with all the trainings that we provide, go and talk to the people, to other friends, to encourage them. So this is the catalyst. One people can inspire many people to do good things, good deeds. So this is, we believe that by understanding the young people, other than that, to have a better, a strong brand, so then people keep talking about your brand and inspired to join you.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about peers and friends just encouraging each other to become volunteers. Okay, we're going to talk about national pride and also unity, but we're going to go for a very, very short break, and we'll be right back with Dr. HAZMAN. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
You're with me, PASHA Rahim, and we're talking to Dr. HAZMAN about volunteerism. Now, moving on to the topic of national pride, right? How or in what ways can volunteerism foster this sense of national pride and also unity? And really, how does it contribute to that sense of patriotism to the country?
Okay, Pasha. In YSS, we always use this mantra, volunteer leadership for nation buildings. So we always believe that the small changes that volunteer do, they can create into the big wave. And I always say to my team and to the volunteers that volunteers have the magic touch. So when they touch something, they can make people happy, they can make a difference. So by giving a message saying that the values that the volunteers can create, at least can create the value of change. So this is also the things that in YSS we believe, that we always share to the young people. They have the responsibility, the roles that they need to play to, and at least to ensure that we have do something good for the people, for the countries and for the communities. And we also encourage them and we make them believe that they are also part of the development of our country. So this is the things that we always do. And in YSS, we have a lot of success story. So I have one of my team members that already been with YSS for the past 10 years. So he came from very marginalized area from Kudat in Pulau Bangi. Kudat is a very rural area, very remote area. Right. But he believed with education can change life. So he worked very, very hard to go in all this rural area in Sabah and Sarawak to to inspire the kids there to at least believe that education can change life. And by having good results, resulting to what he have do, like they have a good result in SPM, they change their life, they go further study in universities, and it changed the life. So that inspired many other people. So this is the story of success that we always encourage. This is one out of thousands stories that we have outside there. So by putting the value that when you work on something, you have a magical touch, and you small things that you do can create a big wave of change. Always create the value and the belief that what a volunteer doing are important to the development of the country.
Right. Speaking about this big wave of change, right? Volunteer leaders, obviously, you know, they can have a very strong impact on the community. How does YSS support the development of these volunteer leaders among Malaysian youth?
Okay, basically for your information is that YSF, we have this flagship program. We have these 2 missions that we conduct domestically and also internationally. So we have just 60 of volunteers coming back from Vietnam, being there for a month in 4 localities, doing all these wonderful things. And next month, aligned with this MERDEKA, we're going to have like 100 more people in 6 locations in rural area in Sabah. So we are also doing all this flagship. Then up to the end of this year, we're going to have a mission in Sarawak, mission in Labuan, mission in Kedah, in Kelantan. This upcoming more than 300 young people that going to have this opportunity to be immersed with the community there for at least 2 weeks up to 1 month. So this is the things that we do. We have this flagship program that we do. Other than that, we also have this volunteer leadership development program that every year we conduct by giving them an opportunity for them to pitch for the projects and all these great projects that we believe that can make a change and difference in the community. We're going to give them a grants. And other than that, we also working with many other government agencies, with many other special projects for the B40, for the flood relief. We do with Orang Asli project. We do with all these people. We have a lot of wonderful initiative that we always give our alumni, all the volunteers, opportunity to be part of that movement. And other than that, we also have continuous development and also training for our volunteers that they can apply, they can join every time that we open for it. And lastly, we link them with bigger opportunity via other organizations and other opportunity. Yeah, so that is how we are giving them opportunity and how we grow the environments of volunteer in Malaysia.
Fantastic. Okay, let's talk about sustainability, right? And how does it, well, first of all, how does sustainability and national unity intersect? And number 2, how can youth leaders in Malaysia contribute to these 2 elements of sustainability and national unity through volunteerism?
So basically, Fasha, in Ministry of National Unity, we always believe on this integration basic principles. They have 3 things. First, you need to understanding, then to respect, and to acceptance. These 3 things have been a mantra by the minister, by all the people in the ministry. You must always first to understanding, respect, and acceptance. So by having this, we believe that everyone here in Malaysia can understand the roles and what they can do. And for the young leader in Malaysia, basically they must have knowledge. In everything that you do, the fundamental and the foundation always come with the knowledge. So in YSS, we always give them knowledge, and we always promote the SDG, how about the sustainability, what that they can do and what difference that they can make by having this. So other than that, I think we are in the months of MERDEKA. Definitely young people can play a lot of roles. And for information is that this year YSS providing 450 volunteers to join the MERDEKA parades using wearing all this ethnicity traditional costume. Last year we only have the opportunity to bring 220 people.
And now you've doubled that number.
Yeah, and last year we get 3rd best detachment for the whole parade. And this year we have the opportunity to give more people, double the numbers for the people to understand it. And I always believe that these young generations are internet savvy, technology savvy, and we must always make full use of technology. These young people should be the small ambassador, talking about how beauty Malaysia, how unite we are, how diverse we are, but we can still talking, we can still eat together. And this is the roles of the young people, that using the technology, we can do a lot of new, many short videos to inspire people. And this is also the things that we do in YSS under the Ini Warisan Kita, one of the signature flagship project under the Ministry of National Unity. We also doing all this project where young people, when we deploy them in very remote area with very unique ethnicity, they're going to have like 5 or 6 videos talking about the traditional costume, about the food, way of life, all these traditional dialects and everything. They're going to record it and make all the video, and you can access all the videos that we have already do for the past years in Sabah and Sarawak in our YouTube channel.
Wow, it sounds really fun, and actually it's something that's really interesting for everyone to, because we might not know a lot about the cultures and the food, especially of people from different ethnicities, especially those in Sabah and Sarawak. We're going to take another very short break, Dr. Hazman, but don't go anywhere, because we'll be talking about the spirit of Merdeka next. You're back with me, Pasha, on The Nation, and we're talking to Dr. Hazman. Let's jump straight into our conversation earlier. Now, apart from, volunteerism, right, how can Malaysian youth actively contribute to the spirit of Merdeka? Because, sometimes we got to admit, we tend to forget. Most of us maybe did not grow up in that era where we've had to go through the struggle. But also, what role do you believe, that the Malaysian youth should play in advancing the values of independence and also national pride, especially in today's society?
I think, Pasha, the stigma that the people talking that we are being split, I think is not correct. It's just a very minority and very minority cases that taking place. But I do believe that as Malaysians, no wonder you are from which generations, but we are still being together. And as a young people, this is our roles to share the message to the world, and especially to those that always have this negative mindset, saying that we are united as one, as Malaysian. So I think, like I mentioned earlier, that you are internet savvy, you are technology savvy. Please use all these things to send the message of unity, of the togetherness among Malaysians. And I do believe that young people can always play their roles to do the awareness and also educate people about the beauty that we have in Malaysia, about the unity. So I think that is very important roles. No wonder it's not important only during the Merdeka time, but I think throughout the year. So this is our roles, to always send a good message. And in the ministry also, ministry level, they also have this initiative saying that cakap baik-baik mean talking about good things every day. So we are sending the right message to to all Malaysians.
And I think we've seen that, especially, during the Olympics, Malaysians have just rallied behind all of our athletes in full support of them. And really, we are a united people. We just sometimes fight a little bit, but that's normal, right? Just like siblings. Okay, talking about volunteer leaders, right? I'm very sure there are a lot of challenges that they face, especially, in volunteer missions. You've mentioned that they've traveled to Vietnam and Laos. How does the YSS help them in overcoming, some of these challenges? What are some of the challenges usually?
Okay, basically, for information, that YSS working with 5 institutions. We are working with students from public university, private university, polytechnics, community college, and teacher training college. So they came from very diverse background, diverse ethnicity, diverse background, religions, and they're going to be put together in the missions, like 15 people in one places. So they're going to stay, they're going to eat, live and breathe for at least 2 weeks together. So different background, different expertise. So definitely the biggest challenge going to be on the communications breakdown. Breakdown is everywhere. And for information, when we go overseas, we must have one counterpart for each Malaysian student. They can speak English well, but sometimes the interpretation is going to be different. So this is also the case that happen every time. And other than that, the challenge that faces by all the students, I think the biggest one is the adaptability. They always go to the classroom learn theory in a very comfort place, air conditioner. When you go to outside there to do lot of new things beyond your comfort zone, so definitely you are under pressure. So when you are under pressure, that is the biggest challenge on how you overcome your tiredness, the new things that you're going to do, and it's beyond your comfort zone. So that is
out there in the wild.
They're very challenging. You are in the rural area, no internet. You have been very spending time every day, 4 hours, 5 hours using all these TikTok things, but you are in the rural area, remote places that you don't have the access for internet. So there's also another challenge that they are facing. So at the end of the day, we YSS, we always provide them with all the knowledge. We have very structured module and project program. So before we deploy them on the ground, we do this interview selection process. It's a very thorough selection process. Like this year, we have 1,040 people that have been selected prior in the university with 15 the best volunteers coming to YSS. We have like 1,040 people, and these 1,040 people, we only need 300 of them. So for the whole year missions, and basically they are the best among the best, but definitely they have, we also providing them before we deploy them on the ground. We have these pre-departure trainings 3 days before they fly, and we have like 15 to 18 modules that they need to complete, do and don'ts. We teach them a lot of things. We have all complete module, and then we deploy them. So we empower them on the ground by providing the knowledge beforehand. So I think this is how we support the volunteers, and definitely challenges is everywhere. But I think by having a good support from the colleagues and also from the family when they're being on the ground, definitely they can survive nicely.
I think the moral support is very important as well. And I mean, you send them all, well equipped with all of the skills and knowledge that they need. And also, at the same time, it's character building. Let's talk about how the YSS helps students to, appreciate and contribute to Malaysia's efforts in achieving sustainable development and also, global humanitarian goals, and at the same time strengthening that patriotic spirit within them.
Pasha, like I mentioned earlier, that we always teach our volunteers that as a good citizens of Malaysia, you have roles that you need to play. Everyone have your roles for the country. So at the end of the day, we always, like I mentioned earlier, we always focus on education and awareness, where we always give them knowledge about SDGs and all this thoroughly. And it's not just very surface, but we usually we teach them very deeply with all this expert that we have, with all the partners that we have. We're going to teach them. So other than that, we also giving them a practical experience where they have hands-on experience by doing that, and they can relate with all the theoretical part that they have learned prior to that. And we also in YSS, we always celebrating achievement. If you go to our social media, all the achievement, they achieve something, we always promote them. So we want them to be an icon. We want them to be happy. They want them to be proud. And at the end of the day, they're going to work harder to achieve more. So, and at the end of the day, we always believe that when they do projects, they always do with the community. Community involvement give them different sets of skills and knowledge. So this is also another way that we support them.
Fantastic. At the end of the day, it's really the acknowledgement that's really important, and and they are going to become agents of change within their communities as well. That, unfortunately, is all the time that we have on the Nation JIWA MERDEKA. We were speaking with Dr. Wan Ahmad HAZMAN Wan DAUD, Deputy Chairman 2, and also Executive Director of Yayasan Sukarelawan Siswa, about volunteer leadership for a united Malaysia. If you'd like to learn more about YSS, you can visit their website at sukarelawansiswa.my, and also follow them on X, Instagram and Facebook. And also don't forget, for the latest news, visit bernama.com, which will also link you to our social media platforms. I'm PASHA RAHIM. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.